Our projects this season are not your father's idea of getting ready to roll. In my father's day, that meant hitching up the team. CW Restorations has hooked up the 41 Willys with the latest and greatest from the outset. Outside the box, high-tech thinking is their strength. In my father's era, high-tech would have meant greeting a neighbor named Tech on the street.
Someone once accused me of being an automotive journalist. I'm barely a blogger. Hey, Chris, good morning.
Morning, Dan.
What's going on here?
Well, we're shortening all the wires. So remember that it had piles of wires on the loom? Jason has shortened all the wires so they tuck in here really nice. He's finishing up a few of the other wires, and then all of the wiring here in the engine compartment is going to be complete.
Make everything look nice and tight and compact.
Right. Really, we're down to working the small things, trying to get everything ready for upholsteries. The transmission came to us without a dipstick, so we ordered a dipstick from Autolock. It's basically a one length, and you have to fit it for your individual application.
A custom-made dipstick. Yes, there is nothing on this car that won't get some kind of personal touch.
Because the master cylinder is underneath the car, there's no way to fill it without having a reservoir, which is on the firewall. So I had to put that reservoir in so that when you do fill up the brakes, you'll be able to do that.
They always say the 3 rules of real estate are location, 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 and the real estate available under the hood is at a premium. When the nose is in place, there won't be enough room to change an opinion.
After we hung the front clip on, we ran the AC lines through the holes that we pre-drilled with the grommets, and we ran the AC lines back to the connection that we made in the back of the car on the frame rails, and we mounted the brackets.
Hey, Chris, how's things at RetroSound?
Hey, Dan. They're going along very well. I'm Chris Peterson. I'm the R&D manager at RetroSound in Chino, California.
So these brackets, Jason's molded in, right?
Yep, they're in there just right.
You got the radio for us?
Sure do.
This is the head unit.
This is it. This is the entire package. We are supplying the Model 1 radio, which is our top-of-the-line piece, AM, FM, and digital media player. It is designed to fit a variety of applications.
A bulky original radio from 1941 isn't something you'd give a moment of thought to for this car. Even sound systems that made an impact a few years ago have become way over the top. The only booms we want to hear from this car are sonic.
So, now where do the knobs and the shafts go?
They can go virtually anywhere. You can see the
Really?
shafts right here. They are not physically connected to the radio. So
Yeah.
you would take and plug them in, and they can go as, for a regular radio application, go as narrow as 4 5/8. You can go all the way out to 22 inches, or we can set them below the dash like this, or in this case, I believe we're going to be putting them in the center console to hide them away.
So they're going to be under the armrest, I think.
Yes.
So these can go anywhere.
Virtually, yes. And the first thing you want to do on the installation is to lay down your wiring and all your base applications. So in the case of this one, with the interior out, it's very easy to lay all the wires down that you need to, place all your speakers so you can easily hide everything.
All right, so are we ready to do the entire stereo now?
We have a lot of interior work to be done in the vehicle, so most likely we're going to be doing part of the installation now and then coming back and completing after the interior is done.
So you want to get upholstery out of the way first?
Correct.
Before we're complete on the audio. But you can do some right now.
Yeah, what we're doing before the interior goes in, we put the wiring in. That way you don't have to worry about tearing the carpet back up to do the installation on the audio.
Chris, that's going to be absolutely great looking in the car. Thanks for putting
Thank
it
you.
in. All right.
So with the head unit and gauges mounted, it was time to gently trial fit the dash. All these components will come out later when Jason paints it, but a dry fit is never a bad thing to try before we get too far ahead.
Nice. Retro sound, retro look, retro host.
Coming up, cutting-edge components and prototype designs.
Dakota Digital put that together for us using the original housing we had. So this is kind of like the first prototype for the Duster.
Digital data delivered from a muscled engine, because nobody likes getting needles.
Chris decided to use not the typical Jeep seats that you would use in a wheelless, so we had to do extensive modifications.
Getting up for upholstery with Bill Dunn. Trying to keep pace with today's builders is a mind marathon. There's so much ground to cover. Getting the Duster twisted has me bent out of shape. It's good we're at the sprint. I threw a shoe during my lunch break 8 episodes ago.
Amazing. What a difference.
Absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks.
This is nice. Is this an adhesive?
Actually, no. These are all laid out and right over the PPG clear, and we laid some hot rod black on top of them.
This is probably the nicest one of all the cars from a color perspective that we've done. It's really
Yeah, it's a little bit different than what you'd normally see.
Yeah. What do you want to do today?
Well, today we're going to work on the inside. It's finally gotten down to the point where we've got to insulate this car and start laying all the interior components in. We decided to use the hush mat on the inside of the car to help eliminate all the road noise and vibration that you'd hear going down the road. We took the little square panels and started laying them across and up by the toe board and worked our way back. We're using a roller to make sure that there was a good contact to the floor pan. I needed a little extra help, so I called up a friend of mine, Alfredo, who's a local cut and sew guy.
If there's a guy who does specialty work anywhere in Huntington Beach, Edgar knows him. Probably has their cell numbers too.
Let's take it out.
You want to take this out?
Yeah, well, what we did is we're just testing it. We're just making sure everything is centered correctly, and we're gonna glue this back one down first.
You got to test the carpet. Isn't there some like carpet testing laboratory somewhere?
These are, yeah, you're right. Normal carpets are fitted to the pan, but we altered the pan by making the custom trans hump. So we had to modify the carpet, and we're just centering it up before we glue it down. We began to put some glue down by spraying the floor pan and then spraying the bottom side of the carpet.
This is a big leap in the car's progress. You can tell how happy we are about it from the glue-induced smiles on our faces.
So as Alfredo was working on the back half of the carpet, Dan and I decided to bring in the dash assembly that we just refinished.
I take no credit for finishing the dash, but I will take some for installing it. You know, this thing is really high-tech with all the gadgets under the dash and everything. I think we need to introduce a little bit of retro. What do you think?
Sure.
I am just the guy. All right. Edgar, I'd like you to meet Chris.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Chris is from RetroSound and RetroBelt. I said we're going to put some retro into the car, right? Yeah. This is what I meant. So what you brought is what you have two types?
We have a couple variations of belts. We have a push-button style, and we have our aviation lift.
Okay. So what are we going to put in?
I think we'll keep it simple and go with these right here.
Okay. Let's see what you got to do with the car.
In the case of the Duster, the factory gave us hard points pre-mounted in the vehicle to bolt belts to. So it was very easy for us to retrofit into this application. The aviation belts themselves, they're more of a classic look, so they tend to blend better with the classic cars.
Good, good. All right, and just to impress you with a little bit of my seatbelt knowledge, I know that the guy who invented these also invented the ejector seat. So he figured out a way to keep you in and get you out of a vehicle. Heinrich von Seatbelt, one of automotive's great forgotten heroes. So this is what we're putting in for the transmission, right?
Yeah, that's the master shift control unit there. We cut a little slot in there for the master shift control unit. Basically, that's going to control the TCI trans. Here you go.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's the Dakota Digital, right?
Yeah, Dakota Digital put that together for us using the original housing we had. So this is kind of like the first prototype for the Duster.
You got the first unit? Mm-hmm. That's gorgeous.
They kind of made up this prototype for the Dusters where you have a nice illuminated digital display and, the accuracy is going to be dead on compared to the old original stuff. So, I mean, this is a really trick, feature that we ended up adding to the Duster.
Okay, you got a heartbeat. There's the blue and the green and the red lights are flashing. Now what?
Okay, so just hit the ignition switch on the side of the column. We should have power to the gauges.
Here.
Yep.
Look at that. It's alive. Nice. Fuel, volts, water, oil. What's it say? Please set speed. Yeah, we'll do that real soon. Classic Industries' twisted Duster will turn heads and steal eyes. This sweet Mopar Queen is a screamer. Edgar's team's vision is to leave no sense deprived. Wham Bam will get more than a thank you when the sound in the plan pounds. Time to fit, tuck, and get tanked.
From what I hear, it sounds like the classic team is fueled to move forward.
Hey, Jason.
How you doing, Dan?
Good. What are you into here?
We're getting the wiring ready for the radio install. We have Chris here from RetroSound. He's going to help us with installation.
And RetroBelt, don't forget that. You get like 2 for 1 when Chris shows up.
Yeah, Brad's done that look good.
So what do you got going on?
I'm working on prepping the wiring for the subwoofer that's going to go underneath the seat.
Underneath the seat. That'll make for a smooth ride.
Today we installed a set of 6x9 speakers in the rear parcel tray of the Duster. They have 3 parts to them, a tweeter, a mid-range element, as well as a larger woofer cone.
A 3-for-1 deal. Now that's a sound bargain, and unlike some installations in recent years, we'll still have a back seat.
Okay, there's that speaker and the subwoofer. Now, what side's this going to go on?
It's going to go on the passenger side over here. The front speaker was one of our 4x10 dual voice coil speakers.
So this application now, we're going to use the wire that comes in the box,
Yes.
right? So you're running 4 lines out of just that one side.
No, actually, it's a dual voice coil speaker. So there's a left and a right, which corresponds like this. So you're getting a stereo signal out of a single chassis speaker.
So you're getting mono out of the big center one, but the tweeters are giving you left and right?
Yes.
Okay.
The original factory location and a high-tech system, it's the perfect balance of sight and sound.
So that's in. What's
Yep.
next? The subwoofer?
Next will be the subwoofer, yes.
Okay.
In the case of the Duster, we wanted to use a small application subwoofer. We used an 8-inch so that we would not take up too much space in the vehicle and that we would not take away anything from the cosmetics.
We have a head unit to put in still.
Yes.
All right.
The compact-powered 8-inch subwoofer delivers the type of quality you get from a bulky box in the trunk. It doesn't take long to learn that slim, sleek, and stealth is the new black in car audio.
We went with this particular configuration for the Duster so that we could utilize the factory locations for the speakers and still continue to have a cosmetically correct look and feel. If you were to look at the overall number of connectors used, it would be in the range of about 20 to 25. It's a very straightforward application.
Is this what you've been playing with while we were working on tunes?
Sure is.
This is the tank that you got from Rock Valley, right?
Yeah, remember we made one out of foam board, glued it all together, and we sent it out to Rock Valley, and this is actually what came back.
Beautiful. And this is in-tank fuel pump?
Uh-huh.
So is this ready to go in the car?
Well, actually, we need to put the car up in the air and set up all of our mounts underneath it.
Okay. I'll get the car in the air.
Several weeks ago, we had sent a mocked-up gas tank to Rock Valley. We had ordered the tank in a satin stainless steel, but it came back so smooth and nice that we decided to send it out for polishing. The tank came with stainless steel straps mounted in the vehicle. You actually have to do some fabrication and bending to get the exact shape. You have to take a few small measurements, cut these strap off at the back, and bend it on the brake and drill the hole in it. Find the mounting points on the pan of the body, attach them to the pan, then bent the straps around the gas tank, which actually formed or molded it to the tank.
It's details like polished tanks and low-profile audio systems that not only improve the appearance of the Duster, they'll also deliver the seal of approval from judges at just about any car show and put trophies on walls.
The filler neck on the tank actually went through in the correct place in the pan of the trunk, and Dan had installed the filler neck that we had prefabricated to connect the tank to the gas cap.
I still haven't had my fill of this project.